All right, it is extremely important to note in this video journal recording here that I have never really gotten this far in my advancements in terms of tagging each trade separately, logging them individually, and isolated each one in my daily journal on the internet. So I'm very happy to see progress. Before I would randomly and impulsively take trades using multiple strategies out of control, losses that led to frustration and finally giving up. And I never processed intelligently and emotionally each trade. And I never really managed my stop losses because I would buy trades and hold and double down and add to losing positions and average down until it was impossible to recover the losses on those trades. I have eliminated that particular trade style. I no longer add to losing trades or average down my price. I have intelligently planned for trades that I might average in, but it's planned ahead of time. And I am able to control losses, stop out when I'm supposed to, execute trades, setups, wait for setups. And this is really, really exciting to see the progress. So we're going to break down today's trades, what we did today on Thursday, the 25th of January, 2024. Here we go. Okay, we had a couple stocks in our radar, Tesla and IBM. Both of them did exactly what I was hoping. I got 2-to-1 on IBM. I'm so grateful. It broke out of the pre-market high range, gave a consolidation candle right here. Here's the level of the pre-market. We had it all marked out. First, I did a 2-minute trade on it, 2-minute candle trade, which I actually got in a little late. First 2-minute range right here, and then it broke out. It'd been better to get it down here, but I got in up here. And as soon as it went up to that area, I sold it, came back, started going higher. And I realized if it can hold above that pre-market level after testing, that's a good entry. And I jumped in it again. And then we went for 2-to-1, and we got the 2-to-1. It hit the 2-to-1 up there, and we sold it. So it's probably going to keep going. But right now, I just got to digest the trade that I already made today. Tesla had some bad news. So we had a gap and go play where we had gaps down. We looked for it to come up a little bit and then turn around. When it started to go red, I shorted, and I looked, I hit 2-to-1, but I only got 1-to-1 because, it came back up. But we can short it again right here. Let's see how this next short goes. I'm going to short it again right now. So let me do that right quick. Come to think of it, this is what happened to me yesterday. I had a great gap and go play just like this, got the first trade, and I kept trading. After looking at Tesla, I think it's going to keep going down in the long run, but today it might just end up right here. It just might stay like this. It's had 1, 2, 3, 4, several days down, multiple weeks down, and it's gapping down. So it wouldn't be surprising if it does take a pause right here before heading down further, consolidating, or even possibly going up to test the gap. The initial opening bell trade to short it worked. That was the plan. Getting into the second and third trade on it, to me, is higher risk. But right away, you can know that it's probably a better trade to get that as soon as it happens. So I might not take any more trades on this. I did that yesterday and I lost, and I ended up losing on the entire trade because I kept trading it. So let me just say I will not be taking any more trades on Tesla. I'm looking at IBM for the moving average play though. Let me show you that. Well, truthfully, it's really tough to just jump in here and chase it now. I'd like to see a pullback, and I'll probably wait for a pullback. Sometimes you never get it, but we've already had 2 momentum plays on this, and now I'm just going to chill out. If I wanted to stay in that longer, I should have. So let that be a lesson. So the weakness was I could have stayed in longer, but once I hit the 2-to-1, I'll be glad to come out and until we get better. So let's take a pause and look at for anything else we might do today. All right, let's take a look at the Tesla trade we did today. The gap and go came down and it had nowhere to go, really. There's no support on it on the daily chart, really. You can see over here that this gap right here on the daily, right here, big red candle down, has no support. It's just straight down for a long ways. All right, here's the hourly chart, and it's taken off. So let's take a look at the 2-minute chart or 1-minute chart that we are using. As soon as it starts to go up, our strategy is if it gaps down and we want it to come up and then start turning red, and that's where I started my short. And it really, I think it hit 2 to 1, and I got out at 1 to 1 return. So I am grateful for that. I'm grateful. I think my stop loss was at the top of this candle. Yeah, so it was 1 to 1, and I think I could have gotten 2 to 1 way down here, and I almost pulled the trigger, and I could still be in this trade, to be honest with you. It never even came back up to my entry, but I don't like it when it comes back up, when I have 2 to 1 and it comes all the way back up to where I entered, and I don't like that. Well, it could have been on break even though, so that's something to consider. The other trade I want to take a look at is 50% retracement, trend line break. All right, so here on the 50% retracement from the bottom of the morning opening to the top of the morning open, if you draw the Fibonacci, here's the golden zone box. And in that golden zone, we can see that it started to reverse and it broke the trend line. So entry right here would have been great. And I just want to take note, those are the kinds of trades and setups that I have to wait for and I have to execute. All right, and the only reason I didn't continue this trade today was because I just want to have a positive day and I want to take my winners and go home. You know what I mean? So that was the Tesla trade. All right, this is the pre-market range of IBM over here on the left side, and I want to see this consolidation build momentum trade build up right before it takes off at that level. So here we have the box where it's the pre-market highs. Here we have the opening bell, first 2-minute, boom. That would have been a great first 2-minute play, but I knew where I didn't want to do it until it got more clear, or at least up into this area. Without knowing the pre-market levels, it can be a little tricky playing the 2-minute momentum trade. But up here, I didn't have much of a problem with it. I did take it here, and as soon as it got up into the range, I sold it when it started coming back, and then I got long again once it broke through. So you have a red candle taken out by green. You also have a momentum play with a consolidation and a continuation. As soon as it hit my target, I got out, and then I was thinking about doing multiple strategies up here and decided to go with my backup strategy, which is the reverse psychology trade, where I actually put my order in where a stop loss would go. And I got out of it for break even, and I decided to just wait for it to come back to my area, and it never did, and that's okay. Like we said, missing a trade is okay. So, and it still may come down and create a lower area to buy, but at this point, those are the 3 trades I took on IBM today. Okay, so far it looks like it's not coming down to the areas that I want, and something that we got to learn, something I got to learn, is that if I miss a trade, that's okay. If I'm waiting for my setup to take place, if I'm waiting for my price to get hit, my pattern to form, and price takes off without me, then that's okay. Let that sink into my head on this journal video, that wait for your pattern, wait for your price, wait for your setup. Do not chase. And if price takes off without you, that's okay. Okay, I do want to make a note in this video and not forget that I kept changing my strategy over here. When I finally got in and out, and I said I was going to wait and try a couple, I said I was going to try a couple strategies on it. Reverse psychology strategy, where I put an order in where the stop should go, and do some trend moving average trading on it. I waited for the pullback. I guess the only thing I really did do, I just kept trying to figure out what I wanted to do with it. So that's why I closed that trade up higher. And I'm not sure if that's a strength or not. I guess the big picture is I did finally do the one strategy where I wait for a pullback, and it didn't work, and I got out. So in the big picture, I wanted to try multiple strategies on it. I did not put a order in where my stop loss should go up here at the top part. And so I think if I did, I would have had a much bigger loss. But I did wait until it got down into this consolidation area, into this first box here. Actually, I only waited for it to get to the top. I think what I really waited for was 2 trend lines to break, which I normally don't do. I usually jump in it on the first trend line. And I'm really happy that I waited for 2 trend line breaks, but it ended up breaking 3, 4, and if you draw one here, it's grinding on that 5th trend line, and it just is a grinder down. So the only good thing about this is I finally waited, but I didn't wait long enough, and it could have easily bounced up here and been successful. It could have. I guess the good thing is that I had enough sense to get out of this trade. I closed it right here instead of actually doing what I have done for a long time, and that's adding to a losing position. Oh, I'll just buy it lower, average my price in. Before you know it, I have such a big size, and each tick is a lot of money, and I end up blowing up my account. And I have stopped doing that, thank goodness. So I just wanted to throw that part in here in the journal analysis, that I did get wishy-washy on my strategies, and what happened in the end was actually not too bad. I picked one, a pullback strategy, a trend line break where I waited 2 trend lines, and I'm making progress. I am making progress. Thank God for that.